The strange news in brief. I'm Guy Ticker. Fireball lights night sky over Missouri and Oklahoma. Greg Ewing's doorbell camera captured footage when a fireball streaked across the sky over Joplin, Missouri at 3:38 a.m. on Friday. The American Meteor Society said the bright light was sighted over southwest Missouri as well as northeast Oklahoma. I'm Guy Ticker. The strange news is brought to you by Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. Do you have a strange story? Contact us at nightdreamstalkradio.com. Pyramids and the Great Floods is a must-get, must-read, fascinating new book by John Shaughnessy. Discover the purpose of the global pyramids and how an advanced Type 3 society used them to control global floods and reduce the impact of instant ice ages. In 1997, a geologist discovered 30 times the Earth's surface oceans located below the upper mantle, the source of Noah's floodwaters. While cataclysm researchers have been looking to the heavens for the doomsday catalyst, it turns out that all the while, it's been right under our very feet. Hell really is down below. Pyramids and the Great Floods describes in full detail how ancient past societies use the global pyramids to lower the damage of floods. You will be amazed. Pyramids and the Great Floods by John Shaughnessy. Get it now on Amazon in paperback and on Amazon Kindle. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, the home of Night Dreams Talk Radio, with Gary Anderson, syndicated worldwide. Paranormal Talk Radio, like you remember.
Good answer.
And it is a good answer. That's my name, Gary. Sometimes I don't even know my name. You know, today I was looking for my car keys for about 2 hours. And I finally found them. But then after I found them, said to myself, well, why did I spend 2 hours looking for my car keys? I'm not going anywhere. It's one of those days, JC, I can tell you that.
Yeah, was it in your pocket anyway?
No, they were in the freezer.
Oh yeah.
I kept them there because I didn't want them to get warm and warp.
Well, that's good thinking. Good answer.
Well, you know, here's a thing that's really interesting. First, it was one balloon. They said it's a spy balloon from China. And it was about 60,000 feet above Earth. Well, today they found a second one. And then the Pentagon contacted China. And they said, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It's just a balloon.
Yeah, with the camera watching it, you know, they were, spying on us.
Can you imagine if it was the other way around?
Oh, yeah. Well, World War III. Well, you know what it is? It's National Bubble Gum Day.
Hey, listen, some good bubble gum's good to have once in a while. I'm glad they got their own day.
Well, you're not wearing red, are you?
No.
But you should have. Today it was National Wear Red Day. My underwear are red. I'm wearing red. My socks are red.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. Can you believe, right? You go to work and you're a pack rat, okay? And you don't believe in banks. And so you hide your money in various places around your apartment. And you had your mattress full, like $6,000 in cash. You come home and your new puppy decided, well, I found where you hid your money. You don't have to worry about it anymore. I tore it all up and ate it.
Oh, my goodness. I got a feeling there's going to be a week long of following that little puppy around.
Well, if a dog ate, coins is one thing, but if you eat money, right? Okay. And it goes through the acids in the stomach. How are you going to put that money back together?
A lot of tape.
You would no, it's gone. And what are you going to do? You're going to take the dog to the bank and say, well, hey, the dog just ate $6,000 of my hard-earned money. Well, can I get it replaced? Well, do you have proof? Yeah, here's my dog.
Yeah, put them up for collateral.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to pay $6,000 to you back.
No.
What is your favorite ice cream out there, Barb? Let's get some people on chat. What, and Kim and David, what is your favorite ice cream? Come on, I want to hear some answers real quick. Don't you, JC?
I do. I want to see these. I want to see something besides, chocolate or vanilla.
Well, I still haven't seen anybody post anything. What is your favorite ice cream? What flavor? Come on. Tom, come on, somebody. David, Kim, come on. Barb, what is your favorite ice cream?
Well, Tom thinks puppy tastes like pot roast.
Okay, well, we have Barb says chocolate.
Oh, okay.
And Kim says vanilla. And Tom says he's just kidding. Well, you know what? They came out with a new flavor ice cream. Now, I don't know who comes out with these flavors, who decides on them. But can you imagine, maybe there's too much zombie movies coming out on the TV and in theaters and that, because they came out with a new ice cream. It's blood-flavored ice cream.
Well, it could be a Dracula flavor, too. He might like that one. I
don't know. Just the thought of blood-flavored ice cream.
Oh, boy. Talk about that's cold-blooded right there.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, who comes up with this stuff? I mean, it's totally ridiculous. Well, here's another grant. I'm telling you, JC, you know what? Maybe in your spare time, you can be putting in for grants for the show, because I can't believe people are getting grants from our government. And this one is, how many times can you fold a piece of paper in half?
Oh, boy, that should be a very high dollar grant for that one. Much research.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. And we are going into a deep recession, and yet they're spending money, and they're talking about cutting Social Security and disability, and they want to do all this stuff, but yet they're giving huge grants out for this ridiculous stuff.
I'm telling you, some of the stuff that we found that they're making grants for is just, honestly, it's boggling of the mind, Gary.
It is. I mean, seriously, I wonder, this ice cream company, I'm not going to mention their name, because the way my luck, I'll get a letter on that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, again, maybe they got a grant to come out with the most unique ice cream.
Yeah, especially that blood one. That is about as unique as you can get.
Well, society's changing. Last night I mentioned, like, on Netflix, the second highest watch show ever on Netflix was Wendy's. You remember Wendy, from the original? Of course, she's not the original one. The original Wendy just died here the other day, but it came out with a new series called Wendy. Yeah,
I've seen a few episodes actually on Netflix.
Yeah, well, that is a cult following already, and it is the biggest moneymaker for Netflix. It's already brought in $1 billion.
Yeah, well, I think that dance, isn't the dance the thing that really...
Well, yeah, and she made that up as she did it. She watched a couple, of the bangos and some of the, the groups of the 70s and watched some old videos and movies of that. And that's how she came up with that dance.
Well, it's definitely went viral, really caught on, that's for sure. And hey, it's good for them, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, if you go on TikTok, you're seeing all these young girls, they're putting makeup on to look like Wendy. They put the outfits on to look like Wendy, and they're dancing that dance. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, people are obsessed with it.
They are. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I don't think you should try it, though.
No, I was waiting. Listen, you get honors to try that first.
I'm a big guy. I'm not going to. No way. No. In fact, I'm going to the barber tomorrow. I'm getting all this hair cut off tomorrow. Anyway, flying saucers to mind control. 24 military and CIA documents have been released just 7 days ago.
Well, that's interesting. Huh.
Everything from building supersonic flying saucers to atomic bombs to mind control.
Yeah, especially that mind control. That's kind of open-ended.
Uh-huh. Why didn't you call me up today and tell me where I had my keys?
I was being mind controlled not to do it.
You remember that one psychic I had on the show? And
One? You've had a few.
well,
Yeah,
I had the
one.
one. Well, I'm not going to go into the one because that lady was but that one I had, she goes, well, what do you want me to answer for you that maybe you lost something, like a set of keys? And I lied. I said, I lost my motorcycle keys. I don't know where they're at.
I remember.
And then I said, we're going to go on break. When we come back for 3 minutes, tell me where they're at. And she said, well, do you have a bread box? I could have said no. Then she would have went to some other answer. She said, it fell behind your bread box.
But really,
they were in my pocket.
I knew it.
Yeah. So
I remember that.
I remember that. So, I mean, do you want to trust a psychic? Human hair in Belgium is really popular right now.
I heard something about that. Listen, I think they're going back to the 1800s here.
I don't know. Have you ever thought a human hair sweater might look sexy?
I never really sat down and thought of that. But listen, who knows?
Well, how about a human hair rug?
Now, I do know they make them. They used to a long time ago. I guess it's coming back.
How about a blanket?
I couldn't use a blanket. I'm sorry.
How about a pair of pants?
No, I don't want somebody else's hair.
Well, that is the fashion right now. In Belgium, they're recycling human hair, and they said it's to protect the environment.
Oh, boy. What happens if some of them's, residual hauntings from that stuff?
What happens if somebody has lice?
There you go. I'm sure they probably wash it down good, but still, listen, that's just creepy.
Now, I could have kind of slipped up, and put a little Oriental catch to it and said lice, but I don't know. Well, a guy likes walking around naked. And he's been arrested so many times in Spain that the courts just got tired of it. So, the last time he was arrested, he took it to the highest court in Spain. And the highest court ruled in his flavor. I'm thinking that blood, ice cream. I got to get a dish of it. No, I don't. No, that's me. Anyway, they ruled in his favor of he doesn't have to wear clothes to walk around in the city. He can walk around naked.
Now, there's a case of persistence pays off, but I don't know if that's a good thing. I wouldn't want my kids to see this guy walking in the middle of the day like that. Would you?
Well, but again, the courts have ruled women can go topless on beaches in a lot of places, depending on what jurisdiction it is. I mean, what's the difference if you're a man or a woman going topless?
I think there's a little bit of difference.
Well, what is it? Okay, some has some more tissue to it, but I mean, they kind of look the same if you took the tissue out.
I'm going to take your word.
Well, I mean, seriously, I mean, come on, taking to the highest court in Spain, and let alone maybe they were so tired of him being arrested on a regular basis, going around naked. They said, okay, you could, okay, well, you can go naked all you want. Could you imagine him getting on a bus?
Would you imagine him getting out of a taxi when you're about to get in it?
Yeah, could you imagine slamming the door on something?
Can you imagine him being a quick order chef and you're the one getting a burger and bacon and eggs?
Well, a Michigan man comes home and he's looking at all this food everywhere in his apartment. And he looks at his son and he goes, where did this come? Oh, they've been delivering it for the last couple of hours. Well, his son, it turned out, went on to the phone and thought he was playing a video game. And so he was playing a video game on ordering all kinds of food.
Oh my goodness. The ones around here, if you order $20 worth, they call you back to make sure it's $1,000 from a kid. That might have been a red flag, just saying. Well,
he ordered it from different places. That's the whole thing.
Gotcha.
It wasn't one place. He was ordering it, he was for hours playing a video game, so he thought on the phone, and he was ordering food from all these takeout places.
Wow, that's a lot of food.
Yeah, I bet that kid can't sit down for a while, too, after that one.
No, and I tell you what, they must have not had any pets either, because I'm sure they'd been happy.
Yeah. Well, the oldest living dog in history has just reached 30.
I seen that. That's amazing. 30-year-old dog. That's mind-boggling.
Well, it is. I mean, I thought, with Freeway, that's the dog we had. It was part, poodle and terrier. And it lived to 20.
Yeah,
and the last year he was alive, he was totally blind, and we had him in a diaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. 30 years old, a long time. And if I think I read right, when he was a pup, they was going to put him down.
Yeah, they wanted to put him down.
Oh, see, good thing. He broke a world's record. That's a Guinness record, I believe, right?
It is the world's record of a dog living to 30 years old.
And that's what, 7... Oh, boy, that's 210-year-old.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. And the dog I'm looking at the picture, the dog does look old. But, but it's still able to go out and go for walks and all that stuff.
Oh, well, that's good. Because a lot of them dogs that get older, like, they got arthritis, can't move. And, even yours had to put a diaper on it,
Well, I put a diaper on him because he couldn't see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, a Maryland man tries a new lottery game and wins $100,000.
What? Listen, sign me up. I'll tell you, some of these lottery stories are amazing. New game, 100,000. Why not?
Well, why not? But again, $100,000 playing a new game and doing it for a couple bucks. That's a good investment.
That's very good.
The largest Subway sandwich, or a sub sandwich, I should say. You want to buy a Subway? I hear they're going up for sales, the whole franchise. But anyway, the world's largest Subway sandwich is 100 feet long.
Wow. That's 30 yards of pure heartburn. I don't know. That's a lot of sandwich.
That's too much for me.
I mean, you could feed a town with that, a small town.
Yeah, or I could eat for a week on that. We'll be right back with our guest tonight. We're going to be talking about the pyramids, what maybe they were built for. Were they done by E.T.? Were they done by humans? We can find all that out with John here. So stay tuned. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
we can't live without hope, without love. Little girl, stay with me, stay with me. Sooner or later we will find out we can't live without hope, without love. Little girl, stay with me, stay with me. You are the first and last thing on my mind each and every day. You deserve love, and you get it. Little girl.
Pyramids and the Great Floods is a must-get, must-read fascinating new book by John Shaughnessy. Discover the purpose of the global pyramids and how an advanced Type 3 society used them to control global floods and reduce the impact of instant ice ages. In 1997, a geologist discovered 30 times the Earth's surface oceans located below the upper mantle, the source of Noah's floodwaters. While cataclysm researchers have been looking to the heavens for the doomsday catalyst, it turns out that all the while, it's been right under our very feet. Hell really is down below. Pyramids and the Great Floods describes in full detail how ancient past societies used the global pyramids to lower the damage of floods. You will be amazed. Pyramids and the Great Floods by John Shaughnessy. Get it now on Amazon in paperback and on Amazon Kindle. Beaming to you like a whirlwind. In syndication and on all the apps worldwide. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Val Von Torn of Metatron Power and Light. You're listening to Gary Anderson and Night Dreams Talk Radio.
And we are back. Well, thank you, Val. Check out MetatronPowerLight.com. Check out their music on their website. Well, JC, what can you tell the listeners about our guest tonight?
Well, since leaving the Navy, John Shaughnessy has long been researching ancient societies, megaliths, lost history, lost technologies, and he has authored 3 books covering these topics.
Great. Well, John, welcome to our show. How are you doing? And thank you for your service to our country.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, and it was an honor to serve.
Oh, yeah. What years were you in?
79 to 85.
Oh, you're not a spring chicken anymore, are you?
No. I got a few years under my belt here, yeah.
Well, the pyramids, I've had, a lot of people with different ideas about the pyramids. Everything from, the pyramids were to, for ETs to make contact back and forth to their mother world to, they're a water pump to pump water, out in the desert. I mean, what got you interested in the pyramids?
I guess it kind of just happens over a period of time. You think about them and then in your teens maybe, and then, you hit your 20s and then it's like they pop up again. And then when I got into my 30s, I was, getting pretty obsessed with them, really. And I've always been studying the planetary sciences, gravity, and all the greats out there, and Nikola Tesla, and a lot of the other great scientists, Newton, and read a lot of work by Einstein, and these pyramids were just an enigma. I just kept coming back to them. I mean, it was an obsession after a while. It was, another decade would go by and another decade would go by, and then, I'm in my 40s, and then I hit the 50s, and then I came up with a theory, gravitational theory, that it was pretty what do you call it? Had some meat and potatoes to it, observable physical evidences that basically that all large volcanoes or large pyramids rather, I'll screw this up, align with volcanoes. So you have a pyramid on one side of the planet and 180 degrees opposite it on the same latitude, you had a volcano. So that was the first discovery between Giza and the Hawaiian Islands, and then rolled on to, if that's lining up, what are the other pyramids doing? And I went to the Shen pyramids, line up with the Bermuda hotspot, and then there was the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico that actually aligned with Sri Lanka, volcano in I think it was it's in Sri Lanka, but it was called Mount Sageria. So, and then after about 20 alignments, because it's, usually there's on every continent you got pretty tall pyramids, and there's only like 20 pyramids that are over 250 feet, and the larger ones, we're reaching 90 to 95% that this isn't just an anomaly. There's something going on gravitationally. So out of that, I carved out a gravitational field with equations, and then that led to my first book, Pyramid Gravity Force. But I wasn't satisfied with that, so I was studying the pyramids, and then I ended up on the moon, and because the moon was actually the gravitational powerhouse of energy source that the pyramids are using, lensing, and playing off of volcanoes and the actual pyramid itself every day when you spin through it. It's like a reciprocating engine, if you will, just to simplify it. And so that was like 5 years ago. That book came into being, and that's called There Is Something About the Moon. And then there was there's still I wasn't satisfied with, because it's like the pyramids, I've come to find out they have more than just one purpose. There's more than just one function, and you can see what's going on, and keep an open mind and things like that. And 4 years ago, I started studying this place called the Transition Zone. I put a video out on YouTube about this possibly being the place where Noah's water came from, the great global flood that you hear in all the ancient texts, right? So, I kept kicking that around, and then back to the pyramids again, and come to find out, I've done a lot of research, obviously. I was in Egypt 2020, January of 2020, and went to about 20 temples, went through the pyramids on the Giza Plateau. So I've just basically really grounding out with this huge megalith. Just when you're there, it's just, all of Egypt, the ancient temples are just awe-inspiring. The scale of these temples and the columns, and you got 8-foot wide columns. They go 70, 80 feet high. They get 20, 30 ton cut granite lintels transitioning from one pillar to the next, and it's just mind-boggling. It looks like it was built for giants, really, and it probably was, with the evidence we have out there today. But anyways, I going full circle, and I just started diving into this transition water, transition zone, where they theorize it's between 30 and 20 times or even 10 times the amount of water that's on the surface. It's actually trapped in this location in between the upper and lower mantle. It's in the form of ringwoodite and waterlite. It's almost like a pumice or a what would you call it, a volcanic rock almost. And so but that's, the water is there, and there's evidence of this stuff has made it to the surface in some of the diamond mines around the world. They've theorized that this is where it comes from. But anyways, long story short, it kind of made a breakthrough studying GP1, Great Pyramid of Giza, Cheops, and just had that. Just looking at it over and over, it's imprinted into my brain, and it just dawned on me. I said these things are built over hydrothermal vents because there's huge oceans wherever these pyramids are. These large pyramid locations around the world. There's a freshwater ocean below them. So you have a freshwater ocean that encompasses 4 countries, including Egypt. You're talking hundreds of thousands of square miles. This is a freshwater ocean that is 30 miles below the surface. So you can't get to it. You can't pump it out and use it for, surface purposes. And also over in China, the Shen Pyramids, same thing. It's even a larger freshwater ocean, same distance, about 30 miles deep below the surface. Then you have the same thing over in Central South America, where the pyramids are in Central America, and also in Mexico. There's also evidence that there's large freshwater oceans. So you just put 2 and 2 together, and you're saying, okay, these things are. There's these caverns that they discovered recently with this what do you call it, satellites, ground penetrating radar and things of that nature. They discovered these large cavities under the Giza Plateau, and there's also in the Emerald tablets, Hermes. There's also a section in there that they talk about a tube that goes a mile or so down underneath the Giza Plateau, also that leads to a ship, right? So, what type of ship? Who knows? But so you're teasing out all these ancient texts. Then you get back to Genesis, and a few of the Revelations and a bunch of other things going on, and you start to see that there are statements throughout the ancient texts. It's the water comes up from the deep, and so that all being said, that's I made that connection, and it really took off. It was okay. We got something here. Don't have it all figured out, but there's definitely a reason to want to cap or build a large pyramid over these thermal vents, these hydrothermal vents, and that would be to stop, control the descent into an instant ice age when these things start to we'll get into that that part of this world. There's like a dry world that we're in right now, and there's a water world. And once we get into a water world situation, when the water comes back up, it can come back up underneath these pyramids, and it also comes up from the floor of the ocean also. And so it's like a big cycle on the planet that I've come to believe in. And it's like right now you have the melting of the ice caps. Most of your scientists will say that the water level should be much higher. We've lost millions of I don't know, what would you call it, cubic yards, or and cubic feet, or cubics of or million, or billions of gallons rather of water that's basically melted ice gone into the ocean, and the water level should be a lot higher. So they've done some research. Mariana Trench, they've gone down and they put listening devices down some of the lowest parts of the ocean, and they were actually able to discern that there's water flowing down through the floor of the ocean into the below the crust. So we're talking about a lot of water flowing underneath the crust of the through the surface of the ocean.
And that is scary too, John, because I was reading too. That really makes that trench really unstable, which it could collapse eventually inward. And that could be a major life-changing event. I mean, there's a lot of things going on this planet that we have no clue.
Exactly. Yes, you have So some geophysicists, theoretical geophysicists, have come out and basically said it's like the planet's going to explode with all this water just seeping down into the mantle. But that's what I think we have. We have this. It's just another cycle. It's unknown to us, but it's starting to come out more and more that there are large floods. There are and there's scars all over the planet. There's Grand Canyon. You have in Australia, Asia.
Africa,
South America. There's the only thing that explains the erosion patterns are huge global floods. It could be 140 feet over, the highest part of, say the Rocky Mountains, or maybe not that high at all. Some places it might not go that high, but it depends. I think it also depends on the trauma that the Earth experiences. Like it could be external forces that fractures this what we call the transition zone, and breaks this up, and it pops up above the upper mantle, and then it just explodes, and we just have this water just coming out all over the place.
Now that would be really scary. But John, what really, where I'm still confused at, doing this as long as I have and interviewing so many people through the years, still we don't know who created the pyramids and what their actual main purpose was. Because, even like the Sphinx goes back way before the pyramids. And, like I mentioned on the show before, there is wear marks on the Sphinx, where they thought for years it was from being underwater, or from the sand. And now they came back and they said, no, it was underwater. And I just don't think that a human civilization, when the Sphinx was built, the Great Pyramid was built, we had the technology as humans to build it.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to believe that we're trapped in it could be a 6,000 to 7,000 year flood cycle, dry cycle, flood cycle. Like, so we climbed to the peak of our technological height, and right now we're pretty high. We get off the planet. We've mastered the atom and a few other things, and we haven't mastered human behavior yet. But it seems like the evidence shows that we get up that high, and then we get a global flood. Now, we get a global flood, we're talking about wiping out everything, even cruise ships, super yachts, submarines. Even if they rode the flood off, like they say, it was like 150 days before it subsided and went down, and the waters receded back to the transition zone. The infrastructure that all those technologically advanced machines need wouldn't be there. The food's not there. Everything that a human being needs is gone. The engineering, the parts. So a lot of these things just go to waste. And over a period of time, say 5,000-6,000 years, it's not even 1,000 years, not even five, hundreds of years or thousands of years, a few thousand years. This all your technologically advanced society is completely gone. It's rotted. It's wiped out. It's disintegrated. It's the bottom of the ocean. It's just gone. And then you have, what do we have? We have a couple of scattered megaliths that are like out of time, out of place. They don't make any sense, like the pyramids and things of that nature. So
whatever technology was there to create the pyramids, we can't duplicate the pyramids. Till to this day, we don't even have the equipment to cut the blocks as accurate as the pyramids. And, when you really think about it, some people say we're going into a level 1 civilization. I think we're far from being long as there's war and killing, we're not a civilization 1. And let's face it, okay, to get off this planet, we still have to use what the Chinese invented years ago. Remember the little skyrockets? Okay,
yeah,
we're still
yeah,
basically, we're using fuel instead of gunpowder to put
right.
our craft up into space to go to the moon. We still aren't anywhere near a civilization one. So then you look at, why were the pyramids built? Again, some people say they were water pumps, but when I look at the structures of the inside of the pyramids, I don't see how they could be a water pump. I don't see how they could control water. There got to be some other reason why they're there besides just for that. Because, I mean, if you go in Peru, if you go into all these, Mexico, as you mentioned, all around the world, the Mayas, the Incas, they all built pyramids. Why?
Well, that's kind of what I address in my book. It's a from my first stab at what the pyramids are doing, I always encompass all the pyramids. So, as a researcher, if you can't answer, I mean, everybody kind of gravitates towards the GP1, Great Pyramid of Giza. That's the creme de la creme. That's the Cadillac, the Porsche, the Ferrari of pyramids, if you will. And it's. But after you step away from that, it's like, well, okay, what's the other two pyramids doing? Okay, that's a water pump or refrigeration system, or it mixes this and it makes what are the other ones for? So with this theory I have right now, and I have some evidence here to back it up, is that these things are sitting on ancient hydrothermal vents, and actually there's one in. That's actually, you can go in and see it. It's under the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico. There's actually a thermal vent. Could be an ancient vent tube that was from when the Earth was cooling down. But it's whatever it is. It's still a tube that goes deep down, miles and miles into the terrain, the subterranean underneath the actual pyramid. So, in my mind, that's what, and you can look at all these mounds too, like, earthen mounds and Kokia mounds, and they've done some excavating into these mounds, and they find huge stones are in the mounds, huge, big, giant slabs of stones, and they could be sitting over these vents, and then you pack all this material on. Because basically, what you want to do is stop these things from shooting up into the air, because they create a lot of problems in the local area, like hail. It also affects the climate around the planet. If you have a large eruption on multiple vents, these hydrothermal vents that I'm talking about, you're talking about creating an instant ice age, or blocking out the sun, and things of that nature. But so I'm thinking that's again, this theory I have explains every pyramid out there. Like a lot of these pyramids, like in Central America, Chichen Itza, you'll have what is it, the Serpent Pyramid, and that particular pyramid. A lot of these pyramids, they get the flat tops, and they'll have like almost like a template on top. It's got 4 openings. And you could actually see where water would. These pyramids aren't watertight. They're not like a cork in a wine bottle. They're going to bleed out. But what they do is they reduce the pressure. They throttle the pressure coming up from the deep and manage it so it doesn't blast straight up into the atmosphere. And also it supplies water to the local areas. But right now, case being that most of the pyramids around the planet, they're wide open. They're all open for tourism. They've been excavated, explored, and they're open, and people go in for tours and things of that nature. So, unfortunately, it's like they're valves. In essence, in my book, I talk they're check valves or just shut-off valves, and all the valves are open. So, just say you had a movement in the upper mantle where this transition zone maybe got fractured, and this material popped up above the upper mantle and released all this water. You would have this enormous surge of superheated steam under immense pressure, just blowing out of these pyramids, and eventually shut down the jet stream. It's the water streams around the planet. And drive us right into an ice age. Also, it's not just, there's two releases. You have the ones on land where the pyramids are, and then you have the ones in the ocean. Now, the ones in the ocean, you don't have much control over. They'll just come right up out of the floor of the ocean, but they'll condense. The hot water from the transition zone is going to hit the cold water of the ocean. It'll condense. It'll keep it out of the atmosphere. It'll definitely affect the conveyors, the ocean conveyors that temper the higher latitudes on the planet. It could, I would suggest that it probably crash the conveyors, just because of the the enormous amount of water that's coming out of these things. Talking hundreds of billions of gallons in an hour. I mean, talking about a serious amount of water coming up and flooding out, most of the low-lying land, maybe even some of the highest mountains on the planet. But it all depends on the actual what would you call it, event itself. I think there's, from what I've read in some of the ancient texts, is some small floods, and then there's the big Noah type flood, and the Gilgamesh or the Anunnaki floods that they talk about, where the whole planet's completely covered, and there's only a handful of people and animals that survive it. But so I think, all in all, it's got a lot of the book itself has a lot of I put out a lot of evidence and facts, and I tease out a lot of the information out of the ancient text to make a good case, make a good hypothesis here that there might be something to look at. And then the biggest thing is GP1 was almost like they built that because they understood that you really don't have the ability to transcend technology from large blocks of time. You know what I mean? You don't have a CD player that's going to last 3,000 years or 5,000 years. So you actually have clay tablets, Sumerian clay tablets, and you have these giant megaliths that we're trying to figure out what are they doing here, right? So GP1 in effect shows you the plumbing mechanics on how they're trying to control an enormous amount of pressure. Now, all the pyramids in Egypt, you go in there and measure them, they're all exploding outwards. Like the walls are all pushed out. Like there's proof evidence right there that they've been under some severe internal pressure, right? And that's their job. It's why you got to have these massive 6 million ton pyramids sitting on this, these geysers that'll literally put out 100,000 psi and 1 million gallons a minute of water, which you don't want to hit the atmosphere. You want to keep it suppressed and down, and and keep it from going airbound while you ride it out. It's almost like it's like you're trying to buy time. Now, if you don't get the big one, you got just say you got a magnitude of 3 on a scale of 10 with a hydrothermal release, this water release. The pyramids will actually contain the flood on dry land, and you're going to get some out in the oceans and everything. It might not get that high, you'll ride it out. But if you have these pyramids wide open, they're just going to go into the atmosphere, right? You're just going to have millions of gallons of superheated steam, water, you name it, hitting the atmosphere and driving you into an ice age. And
now, John,
it's game over.
Yeah, John, we need to take a break. And tonight, by the way, because I had some medical procedures done tonight, we're only going to be on for another 10 minutes or so. So when we come back, I want you to, tell the people where they can find your books at, and we'll get into that. So we'll be back with John right after this. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Okay.
There it is, right in the night sky, the mysterious moon. Constance Victoria Briggs, author of The Encyclopedia of Moon Mysteries, brings us her new book, The Moon's Galactic History, a look at the moon's extraterrestrial past and its connection to Earth. It follows past and present research about the moon's mysterious history, with a focus on extraterrestrial presence. Briggs examines such questions as, are there moon inhabitants? Are the UFOs seen around the Earth today connected to the moon? Is there a city on the moon? And more. The Moon's Galactic History, a look at the Moon's extraterrestrial past and its connection to Earth, can be purchased now on Amazon. Also, check out the author's website, www.constancevictoriabriggs.com. Coming to you live and covering all time zones like a glove. Here's Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
And we are back with John. Again, now people are asking on chat, who do you think built the pyramids? Do you think the society has been rebooted a couple times, several times? Or could there have maybe been E.T. presence on this earth that created it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I guess, I think, myself, I think there's definitely intergalactic travel, the evidence, with the Anunnaki, and other things is, definitely higher intelligent life forms have probably come here. And there's evidence that the DNA has been played with, right? We have that evidence, and so there's definitely that, but I think the pyramids have been here before the Anunnaki, a lot, and I'm sure the Anunnaki knew what the pyramids were for. They just understood the technology. They just left them alone, kept them sealed up, unlike us. We're looking for the big stash and everything else. But I mean, that's human nature anyways, in this day and age. But so, it's a good question. It's definitely, it could be, leftover Atlantis technology. They could have been multi-life, who knows, alien life forms living on the planet together peacefully. Who knows? But, it's, there's 101 different things. But again, we have the technology, the mindset to do anything. We've got, what it takes to, be creators. But we just need time. We're evolving with the technology. We need to be able to, manipulate, gravity and things of that nature. So, but it's a time scale, it's a time formula. It's an intrinsic time formula, and we're running out of time. I think these floods, these ice ages come in, and they just drop us right down to hunter-gatherer mode again, and we lose all our technology, all our knowledge, and we're just in survival mode, really. So
that's scary too.
I've had some experience with ET, aircraft in the sky, and I thought I was losing my mind, and then I was just kind of like just brushed it off, and it was later on in the evening, early evening. Two Swiss pilots verified that they saw a UFO over Massachusetts and New York, same time, but they were looking at something different. They were looking at what I saw was just the I would call it it was a manipulation of the gravitational field of the Earth. It was almost like a cloud type of thing, and they were up above, looking at the actual craft itself.
Oh, so, yeah, I really think we're being visited. And, the Earth mantle is slowing down or it's stopped, and scientists don't know what could happen if the mantle stopped and then reversed itself. Maybe that could cause the floods. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Yeah.
Very, very, very possible. There is, there's a lot of possibility. And that's the thing. It's like, but I mean, I'm troubleshooting my whole life. I've worked for some big corporations over the years, and it's like, if you don't know what it does, put it back the way you had it. Put it back the way you found it.
I find that's a smart thing to do, especially in broadcasting. I'll tell you that. Now, where can they? What's the name of your books, and where can they find them at, John?
Pyramids and the Great Flood. That book is on Amazon in paperback and in Kindle, and Pyramid Gravity Force. That's also on Amazon, just in paperback. And then there is something about the moon that's in paperback from Lulu Books. And then I have a YouTube channel under my name. There's a lot of John Shaughnessy's out there, so but just keep you'll find me eventually. You'll find me on YouTube with because I'm talking about pyramids and the moon. So you'll land on the right John Shaughnessy. You just keep that in mind. So.
Okay, everybody keep that in mind, and just think about as Antarctica is melting, maybe pyramids will start popping up there too, and that I got a funny feeling they has to be on that continent. You know, and something is going on here in Washington State near Seattle, up in the mountains. One of the glaciers, it was very big. You know, it was in the news yesterday. It's gone.
Right.
It's no longer there. So we're going in for earth changes, and people are in denial. Well, John, I want you to have a great weekend. Everybody check out his books, and they're a good read. I read one of them, and I was really impressed. So you take care, John.
Okay, Gary. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Okay, my friend. You take care and have a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
Well, Mr. JC, who is our guest on the Sunday Night Dreams Talk Radio?
Well, this Sunday we're going to have Mike Beaver on. Now, he is a longtime contactee, and he's helped a few abductees with their experiences. So he's going to be talking about that. There's a lot to go on and talk about there.
Oh, yeah. And how about some of the guests next week?
Hey, next week we got Wednesday, we got Dr. David Livingston. He's from the Space Society. He's going to be talking about what's going on in space, some of the policies and what's going on in the future, present. And then we're going to have Dr. Stephen Post come on. He's going to be talking about dementia and what can we do with our loved ones? How can we help them? Then Friday, we're going to have Rick Prado on, former CIA. He's going to talk about his memoirs and all the CIA stuff he's covered.
Yeah, that could be really interesting because, you know, the CIA is into so many different things. Again, the CIA was in the 50s. Well, they were trying to develop, UFOs, supersonic UFOs. And that has just been released by the CIA and the Pentagon.
Yeah, that was within today or last few days?
Yeah, it was the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Well, till Sunday, make sure you check out our show, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Check out our website. Tomorrow will be updated at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. I would have carried the show a little bit longer, like our normal time tonight, but I tell you, my throat is killing me from having all these things shoved down it. So we will be back on Sunday. Everybody, you have a great one. Kim and Tom and Barb and everybody else there on chat. You guys take care.